Rage.
That's all you feel.
And you don't want to be anywhere near it when it comes out.
What is it?
I don't know, but I think it means we're too late.
But if I see a chance to get Coulson back, I'm going to take it.
When the devil shows up, he'll be wearing the face of someone you trust. He'll make you question everything you see and everything you know.
Hold on! Marvel's
Alright, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun Reviews, back to talk about the end of Season 6 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., doing episodes 12 and 13, the season finale. Wow, okay, so we can at least say that they still know how to surprise us. A lot of things I thought were going to happen did not happen. And some of the things that I knew were going to happen did not have the ends that actually occurred as well. Good things, bad things, things that I'm confused about, things that I'm hopeful for, and things that I hope actually don't happen. Now, before we get started, if you like the content, please hit the likes on this, and if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe to the channel. We are getting close to 1,000, and I just want everybody to join in the fun because we got a lot going on the channel. Also, I'm not going to get into every little detail about this because I am going to be doing another live stream with Darren Jakes over at D's Reviews. He and I and another gentleman, his channel is Dawn of Ice and Fire. We're going to be getting into an in-depth look at Season 6 and beyond. So I'm going to save some of that stuff that I have lined up for that live stream. But getting into this right off the bat, I finally kind of like Deke, but not right away. Because as soon as Deke showed them his secret lab with all his friends, the ones that I couldn't stand in the other episode, I was like, oh fuck. But the scene did have one saving grace, and that was Fitz, thank God. So, and I might as well just say it, Fitz is my favorite character on this show. And at least he finally kind of said what I was thinking a lot, which was just reading him the riot act a little bit. Now, I know Gemma kind of puts the kibosh on it, and I think rightfully so, but I just like that Fitz just sees it how I see it a little bit. And Deke, though, what he says finally hits home for me, which was that, you know, he's this man that doesn't have a place. He doesn't fit in. Everybody's got something, and his universe doesn't even exist. His timeline is gone. He is a man out of time. And, you know, the girl that he likes doesn't like him and thinks he's a dork or whatever. You know, like he just... There was no place for him, and so he did what he does, which was, I mean, he's a scavenger. That's what he had to do when in space, and that's what he did here. He found things, and he either improved on them or, you know, reverse engineered them. He did what he could to fit in this world for himself. And honestly, even though maybe he shouldn't have done it with S.H.I.E.L.D. tech, I do kind of finally have come around to understand his way of thinking. And I know that maybe I should have come to that conclusion a long time ago. But now that I fully have been able to process that, I do appreciate Deke as a character. I still think he's very annoying a lot of times. And I do not like his little group of whatever the hell they are, hangers-on, if you will. But he has great ideas. He does have great ideas. Also, if he's making video games, right? How would he not know that zombie games exist? I would think that he would have dove right into like everything. You know what I mean? But whatever. There's a few inconsistencies in the plot, some plot holes in this episode. But again, I'm not going to ride it too hard because it's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. There's plot holes in everything. There's plot holes in life. And so there's that. the whole story with the Chronicoms, I've got to agree with D here. It's just like, why is that in here? There's a lot, like, we're back from space. They really didn't really have much going on. It was just these little tidbits that, even though I love Enoch as a character and I knew he was going to play a major role in the end game, which he does, so I was right about that, just not in the execution of it all. I myself am not looking forward to a Chronicom storyline next year. I predicted on the live stream that they were going to get back to basics and rebuilding S.H.I.E.L.D. And I kind of wanted to see those stories of the struggles of them finally, with things calmed down and taking stock and seeing where to go from here. I thought that would be a perfect way to end the show. Kind of like in the last season of Angel, where they kind of get everything they want in the Wolfram and Hart storyline. We're just kind of like back to, I don't know. I know it's apples and oranges kind of, but I just felt like we really needed to go back to the beginning to end it all. And with this storyline of time travel, while it's all cool and everything, it's just, I don't know. It's our last season. I can imagine them doing something near the end of next season's finale of like being back and epiloguing the hell out of it. This is where everybody's ends up and stuff. But I'm not really looking too forward to it. And even though we're going to, and that's just right now, that's just the initial feeling of it, is that we just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And honestly, I just kind of wanted that back to basic story. Another thing I also said was stop breaking up Fitz and Simmons. Stop splitting them apart. I can't take it anymore. I'm not alone in this. So what do? What do we do? Well, great. The Chronicoms have their brains downloaded, so if one knows the same thing as the other, they'll know. And so now Gemma and Fitz have to be separated again to keep them off their trail. And I'm just like, okay, that's it. I surrender. They're never gonna get this figured out, and they'll be. They will, but I said I was tired of it before, and I'm tired of it now. They need to stick together. They do their best work, and instead, for dramatic effect, they just keep doing it. And it's been beaten into the ground, and I can't take it anymore. I can't. Sarge. Okay, this was the thing that I thought was going to end the way I thought, which was that they were going to find a way to separate the two. And I know that D said the same thing, and I was like, oh, that's what's going to happen, and nope. No, it turns out that I can't say it. I've been at work all day. I can't say words like Pachakita. He looks really cool when Quake, blasts the skin off him. He's a pretty cool looking design. But, in the end, he just ends up being bad. Like, it kind of was like, why were they flirting with the whole, is that Coulson, the twinkle in the eye thing and everything? I was like, ooh, okay. So when, full spoilers, I guess, I forgot to say that, but again, when Mac slices and dices, I agree. I thought he was going to come back together somehow. Or, like, let's say, like, at the end, like in a stinger or something, all of a sudden the ashes go whoosh, and he'd be like, where am I? What's going on? That would have been really cool. But instead we go a whole other route with an LMD. And so that's all I'm going to really say about that, is that, yeah, we have Clark Gregg back again as, it's Phil, but it's not. It's going to have all the personality traits of Phil, but it's just not flesh and blood Phil. And I'm going to talk, that's something that we were trying to figure out what we were going to talk about on the live stream, and that is something that I want to talk about, and that is Phil Coulson and what I want now from what we're being given, and my expectations thusly. Mac did a little bit of a 180 back to the way I didn't like him when he was talking about the devil's gonna look like a I was like, no, come on, let's not go back to that. I like the new Mac. But it was just a temporary setback. I mean, him and Coulson going toe-to-toe was pretty, or him and Sarge going toe-to-toe was pretty exciting. And I did like May in this episode. May was very, very tragic in this because she, in the trailers, you could tell that it was her fighting Ezel. But what I didn't see coming, and because I thought that they were going to somehow get through to Sarge, I did not see Sarge killing her. Just didn't. But when in the moment I was like, oh, she's dead. She's going to get killed. And so he stabs her through the chest and again, I'm referencing Dee's review because I was watching this episode while I was donating plasma this morning, so I had to go home and I was kind of out of it, and I had to watch his review to keep okay, what happened? But yeah, just like Coulson was killed by Loki, it kind of comes full circle, and I agree. I thought that was all going to tie into some crazy way, that maybe it still will. But when she gets tossed into Ezel's dimension, again, death doesn't mean anything there. She's been killed, but she's undead basically now, in a way. And she fights these things that just turn to ash and will find another form, and it was just it felt a little pointless, even if it did look pretty cool while she was doing it. And she always gets those lines, tough as nails, May. I mean, it would have broken, if they had taken May from us too, I'd have been do the Charlie Brown, the walk, the Peanuts walk, where they're with the sad music, the do 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 do, just with my head down. But I did she throws the things out of the vortex, and just like Ezel was sneaking up behind Quake, I like that May comes up behind her and just sticks her before she collapsed. So she gets to she kills Ezel, and then Mac killing Sarge, which was pretty awesome. The whole thing where Yo-Yo got the shrike in her mouth, I could have done without, because again, it's just why doesn't anybody just go, ah, except for story, and the whole almost Pulp Fiction thing, where I was waiting for Daisy to stab her in the chest with the thing, kind of surgically, but she couldn't, there was a lot of too much hesitation in this episode from characters. I did like that they switched over and they were, Mac did this and Daisy went after Sarge. I like that. I did like that, but I just felt I really wanted to see that, I don't know if I can do this, just do it! That would have been cool. Also, I just found it convenient to the plot that the Shrike didn't just kill her like everybody else. It just kept making her go, plot armor a little bit there. It's just anybody else would have just written as crystals go flying out of her. And they would have, and if they had just decided to kill Yo-Yo there, while it would have bothered me, I would have just been, at least would have said, well, you got some balls to do it. Deke and the backpack with the jump drive, that was pretty cool. Yeah, his jumps were pretty spot on and always put in a certain place to where it would be the most effective, either for dramatic effect or comedy effect. But I did like it. I like that he risked his own life. He put the thing on and said, fuck it. Proving that he's a hero, proving that he's got worth. That was a hero moment, a real hero moment. And Jeff Ward, you did a really good job, and I know that I've given you shit on this show. I know I have. But I've never given your acting crap. Just your character. just the way your character was written, and you're not writing the show. So, and I don't think you're ever going to watch this, so I'm just going to be honest. I mean, I like you as an actor, man, but this was the first time that I liked your character in 2 seasons. So, good on you, man. I can't wait to see what you do next season, because now I'm on board. As long as they never bring Sequoia back, I'm good. Okay? I am good. Because I never, ever want to see Sequoia anywhere except for maybe getting killed in like a cameo role or something. Somebody looking for Deke and she's in the way and she gets killed. Then I'd be like, all right. What else we got here? The whole thing with the zombies inside the Quinjet was pretty cool. They were fighting an awful lot, which was kind of weird. You know, like Mac and Yo-Yo and Daisy, all like nobody has the same information. Kind of feels like when I'm at work. Everybody just not knowing, like each one has a piece of information, so everybody else is just kind of ripping each other's heads off verbally. Ezel's exit, though, was kind of just stabbed dead. Even though, like I said, it was pretty cool. And the when May's looking through that hole to see the entire, like, you know, that all those creatures coming, that was pretty nice shot. And again, the special effects this season. The special effects in this have been so goddamn good that you wouldn't know, like that from last year when I was so disappointed at how the first half of it looked. I thought you could just tell that the budget had been slashed. But that, and then when they get this, so when I heard that there was a 6th season coming, I was like, well, it's great, but it's gonna look like crap, because last season I just didn't like the way it looked at all. I just thought it was too, because they're in space, everything was just too closed in and didn't look good. But since I've been watching Doctor Who and understanding, you know, like budgets and sets and the way that the suspension of disbelief a little bit, I have more curious to go back and watch season 5 at some point when I finally get back to reviewing the show from the beginning, where I left off in season 2, episode 14, I think. I'll probably look at it with more rose-colored glasses, except I still don't like the blue-ass Star Trek villains. I can't stand it. Never again. Flint. That I didn't see coming. And I know he showed up in episode 11. And at first I was like, oh, why? Because again, it's just another reminder of season 5. But it was done really interestingly, because their fear of, like, they both understood, like, they pulled him into existence because of Yo-Yo and Mac both knew what Flint could do. And so he appears. Hopefully we get more of him. It would be nice if maybe we get to see Deke and Flint maybe sharing an apartment somewhere. I don't know. They're both from the, you know, like, one was just created like a fucking Pinocchio, like a, you know, just breathed into existence by magic. And, and Deke, you know, Deke could show him around, you know. They're both probably the same maturity level, at least. The Adventures of Deke and Flint. And Flint, I forgot about his powers, so it was just like, oh yeah, that's pretty interesting. And he's another person that Ezel could hurt along the way. And I got to give it up to her again, the actress. I've mentioned her name before, but I don't have my names on her. She did a really fantastic job this season as the big bad. And Sarge becoming, like, once Sarge was a pretty good big bag too. He had a lot of complexities. I do feel like in the end he just kind of became a monster, you know, like a stock monster, but a cool looking stock monster though. And then we get Gemma, who walks in at the end saying that the Chronicoms are, you know, basically trying to make Earth their Chronicom 3. Enoch showing up to help them kill him and wear his skin. What? Was he actually wearing dude's skin? Because damn, like, how long would it take to, like, I mean, maybe it's not literal, okay, but that would take a lot to get that guy's skin all put around you. So that's actually, I almost hoped that that's the way it was. But Enoch, I'm glad to say that he'll be back. I didn't think he would be. I really honestly did not think he'd be back, and that does make me happy for next year. It's the only reason why I can handle a Chronicom story is because of him. That actor killed it in every scene he's in. He's one of the best not human, not robot characters, I think, in sci-fi, as far as at least the way he's written and the way the actor delivers the line, like performs this character, kind of like a child learning everything. It's very, very good, and I can't wait to see what they do with him next year. That being said, with the whole thing with time travel, everybody's doing time travel. It's rumored that Star Wars is going to be doing time travel. And it's just like, come on, guys. Just because Avengers did it doesn't mean that everybody has to do time travel. I'm gonna be open-minded, but it's just that initially, it's like, why? Unless they're planning on retconning stuff, which would be, trying to get a different version of Coulson or something. And since this season did prove that they can do a lot in 13 episodes, I will, again, stay open-minded to what the future holds. But I am a little bit skeptical, but I'm going to keep that skepticism down. And hopefully when we do the live stream, and I get to hear from this other gentleman, Don of Ice and Fire, and from Dee, and everybody talking about it, maybe I'll start to feel better, because they're way more, Dee's so positive, it's infectious. And so it's hard to go into next season going but we know it's the last one, and so I'm expecting them to go out with a bang. And now that it's done filming and everything, and we gotta wait. I don't know how long we have to wait, though. If anybody knows how long we have to wait, put it in the comment section below. Otherwise, that's about it. And like I said, I'm not covering everything because there's a lot to talk about, and I want to save that for the live stream. And so anyway, if you like this review, which I'm sorry, it's so basic, but please hit that like button, like I said, comment, share, subscribe, all that jazz. Otherwise, see us on, the date was, he said it was Wednesday, August 14th at 6 p.m. Pacific. It would be 8 p.m. Central here, and we'll be talking all things Season 6 finale-wise, all things future finale, of the show, the last season. Otherwise, this is Rob at Smirking Den Review saying have a great day, and we will see you on the next video. Bye.